Bonjour, comment ça va? Mon français, ce n'est pas bon, donc je vais parler en anglais. And apologies, I'll work on my French for the next time. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the pitches before, amazing technologies. And what I would like to share with all of you today, it's how 5 entrepreneurs from Latin America, from Argentina, were able to create RSK Labs, which is the first smart contract platform powered and secured by the Bitcoin network. So before we start, I would like to share this idea of how the internet has transformed our lives. If you think about it, it looks normal now, but 20 years ago, it was impossible to think that we will have all the compound knowledge of the history of humankind in our pocket, in our cell phone, right? But if you think about it, the only thing that we transfer through the internet is just knowledge. It's information, right? Even when we do complex transformations like home banking or buying stocks on the internet, we are not sending value through the internet. We're just sending information. We are asking our bank or PayPal or a credit card, please debit from my account and credit on someone else's. We always need an intermediary because we are not able as individuals to transfer value over the internet. This, if you ask me, is the most single important thing that blockchain technology has solved. I assume that most of you already know what Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and smart contracts are. But I would like to share some ideas on how this technology can transform our society, and especially break all barriers of entry to innovation in the financial system. Right? In the same way that 5 entrepreneurs from Argentina were able to create RSK, that I'm going to share with you now what it is, any of you or 2 kids in Africa are now able to create the next global bank or the next global insurance company. Now, 3 years ago, when we started working on the blockchain space in Latin America, especially focused on financial inclusion, as you know, we have 200 million people unbanked and poor in the region. This is 50% of human population that is currently outside the financial system. We had to decide whether we wanted to use the most secure and powerful blockchain network, which is the Bitcoin network, or the most flexible and programmable technology, which are the smart contracts on Solidity or the Ethereum network. So we didn't like that. We said, we don't want to choose. We want to have smart contracts on the most secure infrastructure available in the planet. And that's why we came up with the RSK idea, right? Basically, what RSK does is just bring the flexibility and programmability of smart contracts, but secure by the most powerful network in the world, which is the Bitcoin network. If you think about it, this could imply or be the birth of a complete new era of the internet that we call the Internet of Value. That could be 100 or 1,000 times more valuable than everything we've seen so far in the Internet of Knowledge combined. The Internet of Value should bring to our society the same benefits that the Internet of Knowledge brought, democratic access, instant communications and exchanges at almost zero cost, but now applied to any kind of value. When I say value, I'm talking about crypto versions of fiat currency, shares, loyalty points, votes. So this technology might transform our society in multiple dimensions. These are the 5 pillars on which RSK has been built. And the most important part of it is that we understood how blockchain technology works and how human incentives work. So we made sure that every single stakeholder in the blockchain space would benefit from the existence of RSK. So the first pillar is that RSK is fully compatible with smart contracts written on Solidity or Ethereum. So there's a huge community already in the world building amazing solutions that use smart contracts, and we want it to remain fully compatible with that. So now every company or every programmer that is working on smart contracts has an option. It's like having a flex car. They can run those solutions on Ethereum, on Ethereum Classic, on RSK, or any other smart contract platform that uses Solidity as the standard for those contracts. The second pillar is that instead of creating a new tradable coin, we decided to use Bitcoin as fuel, right? So every time you want to execute a smart contract on RSK, you need to use Bitcoin, which is the most stable, longest running, and with the lowest volatility cryptocurrency in the world. This is the reason why RSK is today globally famous, and every single Bitcoiner in the world supports RSK, because if we are successful and we have millions of use cases built on top of RSK, that would imply a higher demand of Bitcoin to execute those smart contracts. The third pillar is that we wanted to invite the Bitcoin miners to participate in the smart contract revolution. As you know, the miners are these computers that do the back office of the Bitcoin network. So we have hundreds of millions of dollars invested in hardware and energy consumption securing the Bitcoin network. But they couldn't participate in the execution of smart contracts. So we decided to allow what is called merge mining. So these computers or companies with the same energy consumption and with the same hardware, now they can secure the execution of smart contracts at the same time. And this provides us the same level of security to smart contracts or any kind of token that you can dream of in the same way that the Bitcoins are secure. Now, the fourth pillar is the global federation of exchanges. So as we've been in conversations with the Brazilian Development Bank, with the Argentine Bank of the City of Buenos Aires, and several central banks in the world, we wanted to have real use cases that could transform the world, the life of billions of users globally. So we needed additional levels of security. And that's the reason why we created the RSK Global Federation. It's a federation of 25 of the most broadly recognized Bitcoin exchanges around the world. They are the most secure companies in the space. And they will be providing services to the RSK users, such as Oracle services. You know, when you have a smart contract, you need to feed information from the outside world to the contract. And if someone hacks that feed of information, then the whole smart contract gets hacked. So these extremely secure partners will be providing the Oracle services. They will be issuing security checkpoints on every single block. So if you are a major bank and you want to be secure and you don't want only your security to be subject to the proof of work of the miners, you can program your contract in such a way that only works if you have the security checkpoint from the federation, and many other services in order to accelerate the global adoption of this technology. Sorry, the final pillar is the community, right? RSK is infrastructure. So what we are doing is just putting in place the most secure and the lowest cost execution for smart contracts for entrepreneurs and companies such as you to build solutions that can transform our society on top of RSK. What have we built so far? So in our vision, Bitcoin and blockchain technology will scale in layers in the same way that happened with the Internet of Knowledge. So the first block, or the first layer, is Bitcoin as a store of value, right? Which can process up to 5 transactions per second and serve around 10 million users. This is great and will transform probably our monetary system, but it's not enough if we want to change the lives of 1 billion people. So the second layer is RSK Lab, which gives us this business logic programmability layer, and that can process up to from 100 to 400 transactions per second, right? Okay, this is better. Now we can serve around 100 million people, but still not enough. So we are currently working. So we launched RSK testnet in last May, and we are launching the mainnet, so it's going to be linked to the Bitcoin mainnet in December this year. So it's a lot of expectation in the space globally for the global launch of RSK mainnet. What are we doing next? Where are we working now? We have the Lumino network, which is an off-chain payment network. Sounds complicated, but it's very simple. It allows you to scale up to 20,000 transactions per second, and the way it works is that you have a collateral, the other person has a collateral, and you can transact as many times as you want without registering those transactions in the blockchain, which is expensive. And when you close the payment channel, you register the first transaction and the last one, and that's how you scale. and reach up to 20,000 transactions per second. This is already in the range of PayPal and Visa, and it will allow us to serve around 1 billion people. We're also working on this infrastructure layer, or non-blockchain services, such as secure naming, secure messaging, and decentralized storage, which are services that are required to develop complex solutions on smart contracts. Now, why are we doing all this? And this is something that I've heard in prior presentations, and this is what really drives us forward as entrepreneurs. The real blockchain revolution is not only about technology. It's about what we can do with that technology. I worked in private equity and finance all my life, and this is the first time in my professional career that I believe that there's something we can do to change the world for the best. And this, it's impossible to compare to anything else that I've done before. We are extremely excited about the solutions that will be developed using smart contracts and RSK to reduce logistic costs in the Internet of Things. We are extremely excited about the possibilities on how this technology will transform our society, our democracies, with liquid democracies. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically instead of giving all the power to one governor for 4 years or 6 years, you just give a vote that person has in his or her wallet for a specific subject, such as economy or human rights or foreign policy. And if you don't like the way he or she is behaving, you just take that vote and give it to someone else, right? So if the Greeks 2,500 years ago would have had, a cell phone liking things on the internet all day, they would have created democracy in a different way. Well, this technology allows us to rethink our democracies. And last but not least, the possibility to develop programmable financial systems that could reduce the transaction cost and make it available for billions of users. Again, when I was studying economy at university, no one told me that it was wrong to have 3 billion people, 50% of the population of this planet outside the system. And it seemed that there was nothing we could do about it. Well, now we have the technology and the tools to build a financial system that could be as efficient as Uber, as Spotify, as Netflix, but to provide financial solutions to those in need. And there's a major change that we will see in the next couple of years. Approximately 1 billion people that are currently outside the system will have access to the internet through their smartphone. This will change the whole spectrum and the whole market. It's 1 billion people that will be requesting social networks, remittances, but €1 remittances, 50 cents e-commerce. And there is no bank, no fintech, and no company in the financial services space that has the technology or the processes to serve these new users. And this is what the opportunity is about. To finalize, I would like to share this concept of the new definition of a unicorn that we'd like to think about, or the new definition of a billionaire, because we are very used to reward or admire entrepreneurs that build companies that are worth more than €1 billion or $1 billion, or people that own that amount of net worth. And we believe that we should start encouraging and celebrating companies that are working to change the lives of 1 billion people. Instead of celebrating net worth and wealth accumulation, it's just the possibility that we have to transform the lives of 1 billion people that so far have been forgotten from our society, and now we have the possibility to touch their hearts and their lives. So I would like to invite you, all of you, to get more knowledge about blockchain technology. This is a huge opportunity for you to innovate. I'm telling you, I'm coming from Argentina. We thought we couldn't make a change, and we built this company that is globally renowned now. And the barriers of entry are gone. We're going to see a tsunami of innovation in the financial system, and it's upon us to make sure that the solutions that are built to transform our society for better. So thank you very much for having me here.